Recovery trading. Remember to stay calm and just stick with the criteria. Let's get straight over to the charts, and please remember to click subscribe and you'll get the heads up as and when I post these videos. Okay, straight onto these charts. I've only just sat down. Time is 14:50 London time. I've just walked in, opened my charts up and immediately seen entry criteria here. There's no other planning that I needed to do. My journal was all ready from last night. That was all ready for me to trade today if I got home in time. I wasn't expecting to get home in time, but I did. And so I've taken one trade, the Euro Japanese Yen, took this short at 17, looking for further downside movement here, and just to see if it moves out of this overnight area as to what price action's been doing. Okay, I'll pause for a moment and quickly flick through the rest of the charts and get them marked up, looking for other entries, and I'll be back very soon. Okay, back again, seeing Japanese yen move, although I've seen an entry point on this Euro US dollar, just caught that there, looking for the further upside movement on this, taking this long. And the EJ that I took a little while ago, that's pushing nicely outside of this overnight area, so looking to be able to hold on to that. There's 40 seconds left on this candle, I'll be watching this. And the pound Japanese yen, seen that just come through entry criteria a little while ago, it's pushing down, bouncing off of that previous day's low at the moment, but it's been well through that and down towards this 20 level you can see here. So looking for that to continue down, and I'll follow this up with a price stop just to see how many pips we can drain out of this. But it's looking like Japanese yen strength at the moment. Okay, I'll pause again and I'll be back soon with an update. So the Euro US dollar, you can see this pullback here. Hit my price stop, losing me 8 pips. So currently down 8 pips at the moment. Although Euro Japanese yen, that's moving nicely with that Japanese yen strength that we've seen, and also the euro weakness that's starting to kick in now. Come through that 0-0, just bouncing off of that previous day's low, looking for it to come through there, push down towards this 80 level where I've got my take profit. And the other trade that I'm in, pound Japanese yen, being held back a little bit. That Japanese yen strength has eased a little bit, although just starting to see that push through that previous day's low now. And I've got my take profit down at 0-0 for now, but be keeping a close eye on this and following up with my price stop on this. The Euro Japanese yen, you can see I've actually locked in 2 pips on that, and I'm going to be pulling that down. In fact, I'll pull that down while I'm looking at it. I'm going to lock in around about 5 pips on that. So I'll be flicking through the charts now just to see if there's any other entry points that I can get in on. I'll pause again and be back soon. Okay, so this Euro Japanese yen, you can see it pulled back, hit my price stop, giving me plus 5 pips. So with the EU, I lost 8, EJ plus 5, so I'm down 3 pips at the moment. And back in on this Euro Japanese yen, immediately I saw an entry point where I could get in on this. And so I've taken it again, looking for further downside movement. Got in this time at 10, so looking for further downside movement from that 10 points. Price is hovering around the entry point there, you can see. So looking for that to continue that downward movement through that previous day's low, through the 0-0 down towards 80, where I've got my take profit at the moment. Pound Japanese yen, still holding this. Price pulled back very, very close to me having to punch out of that, following the criteria that we've got. But it held and I've managed to stay in it. So again, looking for it to pierce through that day's low, stay below that, head down through the 20 and hopefully down towards that 0-0 where the take profit is at the moment. Australian dollar Japanese yen, this one hit entry point just a few minutes ago, so I've taken this short, got in this one at 13, looking for further downside movement on this. And the US dollar Japanese yen, taken this short a little while ago. Again, looking for that further downside movement. Entry criteria was hit and I was straight in on that. And the Canadian dollar Japanese yen, again, this one hit an entry point and looking for further downside movement on this. Looking for that Japanese yen strength to continue that we saw earlier on. We've seen this lovely move down on a lot of the Japanese yen pairs, and that's what I'm looking for a continuation of. But we never know, it could spin round and go back the other way. But price stops are in, and all we can do is go with whatever the price action gives us, or takes from us, of course. Okay, I'll pause again and I'll be back soon with an update. Okay, I thought I'd come back in with this update. We're seeing that Japanese yen strength taking off again. Had a little bit of a pause back here, pulling back a bit, but now we're seeing it taking off again. Like I say, on this Euro Japanese yen, looking for that to push through that 0.00, previous day's low, and down towards that 80. Pound Japanese yen moving out of that zone where it was getting close to me having to punch out, but it's pulled down now. And again, that Japanese yen strength pushing that down quite nicely. Australian dollar Japanese yen, that's coming down, moving down nice and steady. Nothing too spectacular, but that's creeping down quite nicely. US dollar Japanese yen, you see that I'm in all the Japanese yen pairs, and that's being held a little bit. Probably seeing a little bit of US dollar strength, which is holding that Japanese yen strength from moving this further down. But it's still showing a little bit of profit there. It's just below where my entry point was. And last of the pairs is the Canadian dollar Japanese yen again, seeing that being held a little bit, but hoping that that Japanese yen move starts to increase, starts to push down, and could give us a good day here. Okay, I'll pause again and I'll be back with any changes as and when they happen. Okay, back with an update. Just going to run through these pairs now to show you where I am. The Euro Japanese yen holding in there, still hovering around. It's been going sideways here, hanging around. Price has been hanging around pretty much where I entered. Quite often we see between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the afternoon, London time, we sometimes see some reasonable moves as we're going into the London close. So wishful thinking maybe, but let's see what happens. See what happens with this Japanese yen and see if that picks up again. Pound Japanese yen. This is one that I had to punch out of. Price came back a little bit too high here, and I just had to punch out of that. And now we're seeing it start to move down again. But it's just the way that it is, and we have to stick with our criteria. Stick with the rules exactly. And like I say, I just had to punch out of that, losing 2 pips. Australian dollar Japanese yen, seeing this pulling back through my entry point there. We're seeing some strength on the Australian dollar at the moment. Just hang on to that and see what that one does. The US dollar Japanese yen, again, price, this isn't really doing a great deal. It's just hovering around just above the entry point there where I took this short. The Canadian dollar Japanese yen, and we saw this lovely move down and then price pulled back, and this one I took a full stop on, losing 12 pips. So minus 8 pips on the Euro US dollar, minus 12 on the Canadian dollar Japanese yen, and minus 2 on the pound Japanese yen, plus 5 on the Euro Japanese yen, leaving me at the moment minus 17 pips. So it's not going to take a lot to pull back from this. If we see some reasonable price action and a little bit of follow through, not going to need a lot to pull those back and maybe show a bit of profit today. So I'll pause again and I'll be back soon with an update. Back again to give you an update of this price action that's not in my favour at the moment. You can see that Euro Japanese yen, that second trade I took on this one, pulling way back, very, very close to hitting my price stop there. So it's not looking great at the moment. Let's see what it does on the end when this candle closes. Australian dollar US dollar, just taking a trade on this as it's coming through an entry point, looking for further upside movement. It looks like we're seeing a bit of weakness on the US dollar right now. So looking for that to move up out of this zone that it's been in throughout the Asian session and the London session, the early London session. So let's see if that can push out and start to move up. The US dollar, Japanese yen, bit of a pullback on this, just been going sideways. That early strength that I saw on the Japanese yen just died out, and that's just been drifting sideways at the moment. You can see I'm slightly in the red on that. Very, very close to my entry point. Looking for that to pull back down and continue on that downward slide. So that's it. Just those 4 trades that I'm holding right now. I'll pause again and let you know if a miracle happens and these spin round. Okay, I'll be back soon with an update. Okay, back again. Still watching this price going sideways. I've taken all my pending orders off now. I'm holding 2 trades, which are the Australian dollar Japanese yen. Got in this one much earlier. Just drifting sideways at the moment, and price is, as you can see, pretty much where I got in. And the US dollar Japanese yen, still holding this from the same candle way back here. So all I'm going to do now, I've set my take profits on these at 2 to 1. So I've got this one set at 20 pips. This one set at 24. And I'm just going to let these run now. I'm not interested in taking any more trades. It's getting a little late. And I'll see what these do. If they stop out, they stop out. If they start to move down, then I'll take a bit more interest and I'll start following up with my price stop. So I'm going to let these run, unless of course there's some massive move, something kicks off over Brexit or something like that, then I might be interested in something else. But just the way this market's going at the moment, not interested in anything else at all. So I'll hold those 2 trades, I'll pause again, and I'll be back a little later just to let you know how they played out. Almost forgot to mention, at the moment I'm down 29 pips, so wouldn't take a lot to get that back and a little bit of profit if these 2 pairs that I'm holding start to move a little bit. So like I say, I'll pause for now and I'll be back soon to let you know what the outcome is. Okay, back with an update. Time is now almost 20 past 5 in the afternoon here in London. Seeing these 2 trades that I'm still holding pulling down a little bit, which is quite nice. Chance that I might be able to get back to break even on these, and it's looking that way at the moment, but we never know. It might just drift sideways from here. Anyway, so the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, you can see that's pulled back down, coming close to that 0.0. Not sure if it's going to break through that. Like I said, it's a bit late in the day, and sometimes price starts to, I won't say go a bit quieter because it's been pretty quiet over throughout the session, but you know, sometimes at this time of day price just completely dies. So just keeping an eye on this, see what it does. Quite happy to leave it running for the time being. I might even lock in break even on these 2 trades because I don't really want to lose any pips, and I'm not really willing to sit this out for too much longer. US dollar, Japanese yen, you can see that's moving down quite nicely. If that comes through that previous low there, then there's a reasonable chance of it continuing down towards this 80 level. And like I say, every chance of me getting back to break even and maybe even a small profit. Not interested in taking any other trades at the moment because the price action just isn't there. Okay, I'll pause again, and quite possibly the next update will be the final one where we can see what the outcome was. Okay, pause for now, be back soon. Okay, back again. Time is just gone 5:30 in the afternoon here in London. Seeing a late move on this Japanese yen again, seeing that continuation that I was looking for earlier on. Australian dollar, Japanese yen, you can see it's trying to get through that 0.0 level there, just pushing against that right now. 11 minutes left on this candle. The US dollar, Japanese yen, that's moving down beautifully towards that 80 level. And I know that I said I wasn't going to take any more trades, but I've taken a re-entry on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen on the strength of seeing this Japanese yen late move. So that's it, 3 trades I'm still holding, and I should be out of these hopefully pretty soon. Okay, I'll pause for now and be back to give you an update. Okay, just back to see what happens on the close of this candle. You can see the Australian dollar, Japanese yen pushing through that 0.0. It was bouncing against that for a little while. It's pushed through there now, and hopefully we'll see that continuation of that move down. The US dollar, Japanese yen, this is bouncing off of that 80. I'll be honest with you, I was quite tempted to pull these 2 trades because of them reaching these levels and bouncing off of them. But seeing that Australian dollar, Japanese yen coming through there, I'm just going to hang on and see what happens on the next candle. Like I say, US dollar, Japanese yen pushing down a little bit again because of that Japanese strength continuing, and the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen come through that 20 level where I got in, but since then it's sucking back a little bit. We're also seeing some Canadian dollar weakness going on at the moment, so if that continues, right, we're on the new candle, and I'm just going to see what happens here. I could actually punch out right now and come out break even, but let's just see what these do. Okay, that's closed, the AJ closed just below that 0.0. Okay, I'm just going to hang on to these just for a little while longer to see if I can pull a little bit more. If not, I shall punch out and take break even on these. Be back soon. Okay, back again. The time is now 5:54 here in London in the afternoon, and starting to see these Japanese yens pick up again. It's a much longer session than I would have really liked today. I've had some other work to do. I've just been working alongside watching these charts. You can see on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, I've locked in couple of pips on that for now. Price has come below that 0.0, so I'm looking for that final push down to where I've got my take profit there. That'll give me 24 pips if it hits that. The US dollar, Japanese yen, again it's testing that 80 level. It's been pushing through, trying to break through there, getting very close to my 20 pip take profit. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, that's starting to move off again now. So I'm a little bit in profit if I punched out now. I'll probably give it another few minutes, 5 minutes, see what happens, see if this price starts to move. If not, I'll probably get out of these and get my losses back and a very, very small amount of profit. Okay, I'll be back again soon. Okay, back again, final decision made, and I decided to punch out of those existing trades, those last 3 that I had. So you can see the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, took this down, and I took 15 pips on this. US dollar, Japanese yen, give me 16 pips. And the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, just 4 pips on that one, just a small move. So there you have it, a summary of what was done today. Wasn't a lot of great moves there, it was pretty slow most of the session. Trades taken was 9, I won 4, lost 5, giving me a grand total of 6 pips. But I managed to pull back those losses and come out with a few pips on top, not a great deal. Okay, that's it for now on this video. Please remember to hit subscribe, and if you hit the little bell you get the heads up as and when these new videos come out. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll be back again soon.